Hi everyone, I'm Kathleen. This is Kathleen's Trodden Trail. This is a floss tube channel about crafting, mostly cross stitch, a little bit of quilting, a little bit of rug cooking, needle punch, kind of whatever floats my boat in the moment. Today is Wednesday, the 16th of June, and it's been like, I don't know, 6 weeks or something since I last made a video, but I have a brand new computer and some new software, and so I'm crossing my fingers and hopeful that I'll be able to do a longer video and that I'll actually be able to upload it to YouTube. I've had some problems in that regard. That's really not why I haven't done a video in such a long time. Mostly that is due to just crazy busy life. Things are hopping around here, and I thought things were going to really slow down in the summer, and I seem to say that to myself and to other people all the time, like, once we get past this point, then things are going to slow down, and they never seem to really slow down that much at all. So Ryan got a job in kind of I don't know if you'd call it, not quite central Nebraska, but about an hour west, kind of northwest of us, and a little tiny town. He'll be teaching 7 through 12 band and choir, as well as co-teaching a finance class or a couple of finance classes in the high school. And it's just a little kind of a rural school in a little town that the school is fed from 2 different towns, and yeah, and so it's just a wonderful opportunity for him. Just lovely people, the people that hired him, the principal and superintendent, and he's gotten to talk to a few of the teachers at the school already, and so I'm just about as thrilled as I could possibly be, and he's pretty excited too. So I believe he actually starts work. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to edit. I heard Bindi tearing something, and it's just a pamphlet that was supposed to go in the trash. But anyway, so yeah, he's very excited. I think he starts work on August the 1st, and he will be driving back here, moving back to Nebraska on the 1st of July. We found a little house for him up in the town that he'll be living in is different from the town he'll be teaching in, but they're only about 10 minutes apart. So it's very, very exciting, and I'm just super thrilled for him. So yesterday was my birthday, and Maddie came down on Monday and surprised me. She had told me that she would be working all week and that she would not be able to come down for my birthday, but she showed up, and we had a great kind of day and a half just palling around, and we just did fun girly stuff. Went to a winery yesterday and did a little shopping, and then went out to dinner with my husband last night, and so it was a really lovely birthday. So the only downside to my birthday this year is that I thought I was turning 53. I had it in my head that I was turning 53. I think I've had it in my head since about Christmas that I'd be turning 53 this year, and I happened to mention that to my husband a week ago, and he said, you need to do the math. You're turning 54. And so I did the math. Yeah, I turned 54. So I lost a year somewhere. I've never done that before. I've never, not known how old I was. I don't know how that happened. I think that's part of getting older. But anyway, I don't care. I'm happy to be 54. I'm happy to have another day on this planet, and hopefully get to share some of my joy with you guys today. So anyway, I'm going to get right to it. I have like 4 different piles of stuff around me. I'm going to start with this because then I can put this on the bottom and pile everything on top of it. I have a big kind of easy chair back here that I'm piling things on. I'm sitting at the bar in the kitchen, kind of facing the front entryway of the house. You can see the fireplace is behind me. Dog toy on the floor over there. It's lovely. But anyway, it's not that much of a difference of view from what you've seen last time, or the last few times I've sat in an easy chair next to the fire. I'm just a little ways across the room now. But I hopefully will be able to insert some pictures of all the blooming flowers that we have, maybe of my garden. I planted 26 tomato plants, 4 cucumber plants, a couple of zucchini, 3 pepper plants, and 2 melons, like a honeydew and a cantaloupe. I've never done melons before, so we'll have to see how those will do, although they are coming up. And that was all kind of in one garden area. And then in another garden area, I think I planted somewhere between 10 and 15, I think closer to 15 pumpkins slash mini pumpkins slash gourds in that area over there, as well as on both sides I planted zinnias, and then on the left hand side with the pumpkins I planted kind of sunflower seeds all the way around on the outside, so some different colors of sunflowers. So everything seems to be coming up okay, except that somewhere along the line I must have dropped some melon seeds, because I have some melons coming up in my tomato area, and quite a few actually. I must have accidentally scattered them somehow. So I'm probably going to need to pull those and get those out of there, because melons I think are quite viney and will, sort of interrupt the tomatoes. And then I planted a couple rows of carrots and a couple rows of radishes, and those don't seem to be really doing much of anything. I have really a hard time. I can grow tomato no problem, lots and lots of tomatoes, but I have the hardest time with like carrots and radishes and anything that's kind of like a root type vegetable or any of those kinds of things. And I love radishes so much, and farm fresh carrots are just the best. But we also have currently 6 what I would call teenager chickens. I think they're going on 9 or 10 weeks old now. We have 4 barred Plymouth Rock, which are the black and white kind of speckly ones. Some are more black, some are more white, but they're definitely black or dark gray. And then we have 2 Easter eggers, which are probably like an Americana type of, American bred, East Coast bred chicken, and they will each lay their own color of egg, but their eggs could be green, blue, brown, all different colors. That's the name Easter egger. And we started out with those, and then Maddie was home for Memorial Weekend, and we had to stop by the Baumgars, which is our local Nebraska-owned. I think it's a Nebraska-owned store, and I think it's only here in Nebraska. I don't know. I suppose it might be in other states, but it's Baumgars, but it's kind of a Tractor Supply QC type of place. And it's just to get, something for the chickens, and we ended up getting 2 more Buff Orpingtons. So those guys are just babies. They're just going on 3 weeks old, and so they're still living inside in their own little coop and brooder. And then the big girls have moved outside, and they're doing awesomely. I don't think that's a word, but they're doing really well in their chicken coop. So I already want a bigger chicken coop. I already don't like the one that we have, even though it's brand spanking new. I want a bigger one that I can walk into that has a full-sized, human door. It's plenty big for the chickens, but I don't like having to reach and get on my hands and knees to do stuff. But anyway, that's down the line. I'm still waiting on the run. We ordered a huge chicken run, and it was delayed. I'm sure partially because of COVID. So she's scratching at the chair here. So that is supposed to come by the end of the month, and I'm really ready for that to be here so that they have more room, and when we do let them roam free, we don't have to be out there. The run we ordered has, it's covered all the way around and on top, and because right now I wouldn't leave them out there by themselves because of hawks. We have so many hawks around here. Red-tail hawks, and they are a big-time chicken predator, and these girls are pretty small still, so they could take them. Oh, and I shouldn't call them girls because we do have one rooster. Totally accidental. We meant to have all pullets, which are females. Okay, so I just talked to you for like 10 minutes and I wasn't recording. So there's definitely going to be some getting used to here in this new with this new computer. But anyway, that we do have a rooster. He's very delightful at this point in time. He's not mean or aggressive or anything like that. And he's quite the leader. I think he'll be a good protector and just an extra set of eyes and good protector, because he's quite aware, where you see that especially the barred Plymouth Rock, the little black ones, they just seem really clueless about anything. They're not afraid of the dogs. They're just very clueless. He seems to be much more aware and alert to danger. So I think it might actually be a really good thing to have him. And we're out in the country, we're far from our neighbors, so if he does crow a lot, it's no big deal. There's a neighbor, I think they live kind of north of us, and they have a rooster that crows all day and night, and I love it. It doesn't bother me at all. I can't hear it in the house, only when I'm outside. So I'm not too worried about the noise. But anyway, okay, well, I guess I have to start over. I even put things in the finish pile. So I'm going to start with this because as I've already said, I've kind of been, in my head about my starts and whips and finishes. And for the most part this year, I'm going to stitch what I want when I want attitude. And if I don't want to stitch something, I'm going to put it away. I'm not going to feel bad about it. If I get something new and I want to put a few stitches in it to start it, that's fine, even if I don't work on it for another 6 months. And so that's kind of been my attitude this year, because I have not been successful with rotations. I mean, they don't work, because inevitably I'll come to something that I don't want to stitch, and then I just won't stitch, because I feel compelled that I either need to stitch that one thing or I don't want to stitch at all. And so, I have been using the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch 2021 planner, which I've never used a planner really before for cross stitch, and I've been tracking, for the most part, pretty diligently, my starts and finishes and whips. And I wanted to share this with you because I feel like we're about halfway through the year. Well, we are about halfway through the year, and I guess give or take a couple weeks. And this is kind of a good time to kind of take heed of what I've been doing. And so I'm happy to report, well, let's just talk about finishes first, that I have had for the year, month to date, 17 finishes. Now, most of those have been fairly small or medium sized, but there have been a couple of, larger projects with quite a bit of stitching on them that I finished. And a couple of those that I actually started this year and finished this year. Quite a few of the things on here were starts from last year or the year before, that I was just finally like, I'm going to get this done now and, bang it out and get it done. So I feel pretty good about that. Now, there were 15 different charts started, but one chart, which was the Kind Words by Not Forgotten Farm, I did 3 different times. And I've actually given all 3 of those away to friends, because that's just such a cute little pillow finish to give to a friend. And who doesn't need to see kind words every once in a while? So I feel okay about that. And if I finish the year having, say, right around 30 finishes for the year, I think that's okay. I mean, that's more than 2 a month. So I don't feel bad about that at all. Now, on the little tiny bit of guilt side, or I don't know if it's guilt or shame or really what it is, as far as new starts go, I have had for the year 39 new starts. So that goes back to my kind of philosophy that if I buy a chart because I love it, and maybe I buy it because maybe I buy it and I know I'm not going to start it anytime soon because I have all these other whips, but I know eventually I'll do it. And so if I want to put a few threads in it because I know that later on I will get a hankering to do it, then I'm okay with that, even if it sits for 6 months or a year, because then when I'm ready to do it, it's ready to go. It's kitted up. It's even got a few stitches in it. It's all ready to go. So the fact that I have 39 new starts, it's a lot. It's a lot, but I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. Now, of those 39 new starts, I have had, let me think how many of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 finishes. So of the 39 new starts, 11 of them are finished. And I think there are only, and they're all fully finished except for 2. And they're real small. 2 little things that I have upstairs that need to be turned into pillows. So stitched and fully finished, 11 of the 39 that I started. Now, I'm not going to tell you how many whips I have because they're not all on here. I mean, I only put the whips on here as I work on them, and there's some whips that I haven't touched at all. But, you know, but there's quite a few whips for sure. In fact, I'm not even counting those. They're not numbered. I like that. So, you know, anyway, I think I'm just going to continue with every once in a while I think, okay, let's do a rotation, and I'll write down a rotation, and inevitably I won't do it. So anyway, I want to share with you today 2 FFOs that I don't think I've shared with you, and if I have, I apologize. It's been a while since I last did a video. The first one is the Brenda Gervais needle punch. I can't remember if I feel like it's called Feather Your Nest. I don't think it's just called Nest. I think it's called Feather Your Nest. And this was a needle punch that I bought the chart along with several others probably 5 years ago at the Country Sampler, which is the quilt shop in Omaha. But she carries a ton of needle punch and quite a bit of embroidery. And she carries a lot of Brenda Gervais needle punch patterns. And so I bought this. It's all done in Valdani. It's all done in my own colorway. I just used what I had, and in fact I ran out of my background, this real deep black, kind of black and gray, and so I used a more browny black down here just to finish it off. And you know, it's not the best, but it's okay. I wish I had finished this with a light background. I think that this fabric is, even though it's pretty by itself, is too much with the rest of it. I wish I would have finished it like with maybe a tiny polka dot, maybe like a white with black polka dots or something like that. I don't know. I wanted the pennies, which are not wool, they're actually punched. I wanted those to really pop, and I don't feel like they do, and I think that there's too much going on. So this is just hot glue gun to this, and so I'll take it off at some point, and all I'll lose is this fabric, because that fabric will be worthless once it's got glue all over it. But I just couldn't find anything else that I liked better. And so for now, this just sits up on my piano, and I love it. I love the bird, the robin. I love the dark background. I love the little nest is just, those eggs only have about 6 punches each in them, which each punch is a loop. So they're super tiny, and then the houses, and yeah, and the pennies are so cool. So I put a piece of Janice's, I think this is cherry pie or cherry something red on the back. Isn't that gorgeous? That red wool is just, oh, it's too cool. So that was one FFO, and then I cannot remember if I showed you this, but this is, I think it's called Liberty by Brenda Gervais, and this is what I was saying when I realized I wasn't taping before. Now I see where to look for the time. Let's see. I did this in none of the called for colors because I didn't have any of them, and I just wanted to start it. I tried to use similar colors. I didn't have anything that really worked for the words, and so I used one strand of DMC gold of some number. I don't remember what it was, and one strand of Classic Colorworks gold of some kind. I don't remember what it was. I had very little left, and in part of it I had started in the middle and worked this way, and I started running out of the variegated, and so I filled it in with the DMC so that I could bring some of the variegated over here so that it would be throughout. So it got really dicey there at the end, but it worked. I coffee dyed, this is this is I think it's a Lugana even weave, and I coffee dyed it, and I love how it turned out, and I love how the white pops on that. That's just, I feel like that's the perfect pop for white on, Lugana, for white on, a neutral background, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I can't remember who sent me it. I feel like, I can't remember who sent me this really beautiful pin, but I just thought it worked really well in there. And yeah, the little dog. I finished this with a piece of, and I forgot to cut my thread here, 2 pieces of probably motif fabric that I stripped together for something else, and then used them for the back. And then I actually left 2 holes in it so that I could stuff from both top and bottom, and added a little bit more of that cherry wool and a button. I don't know, I just added like 1 button down here. I don't know why I did that, but it works. And I love this. This is sitting also, this is like right in the middle of the top of the piano, and I love that. The piano's right over there, so it's kind of the main focus of this room when you walk in. Okay, I don't know what to do next. Let's go ahead, and since this is sitting right here, I was watching, I meant to look up her channel name because I realized I couldn't remember what her channel name is, but Nicola, who lives in England, who loves Lori Holt, does a lot of Lori Holt stuff. I can't think of her channel name. That drives me crazy. Bumble Stitches. I was watching her, and she was answering questions, and someone asked her if she did any English paper piecing, and she said, I have in the past. It's so time-consuming and tedious that I don't really do it. I'm not really into it right now. Not to say I won't do it in the future, but, just not really into it right now. And she said, in fact, I have Tula's Bloomers quilt pattern from the Fat Quarter Shop, but I don't think I'm going to do it. And so I had to go, because I love English paper piecing, and I had to go and English paper piecing, the very first quilt I ever did was English paper pieced, and it's a double bed quilt. And it was when Ryan and Maddie were babies. They're 15 months apart, and Ryan is 6 years younger than Caitlin. So Caitlin was in Caitlin was in 1st grade when Ryan was born, and then Maddie came along 15 months later, almost 16, but I always say 15 because it sounds like I'm more of a, like, poor me. But anyway, so when I would put them down for a nap in the afternoon, and Caitlin was, either at school or if it was summertime beyond the napping period, I would do English paper piecing, and that was the only craft I did for several years when they were babies. And so I love English paper piecing. So I had to go to Fat Quarter Shop and find the Tula's Blooms. And so this is Tula's Bloomers. I keep saying blooms. And it's this quilt, and it comes with all of the paper to do the piecing, but they were Fat Quarter Shop was out of this exact fabric. And I'm like, no big deal. I can find my own fabric that I like from Fat Quarter Shop. So I ordered this big ol' hunkin' Fat Quarter stack of Free Spirit, and I don't remember, and it's not on here. I'm sure it's somewhere. I don't remember what this line of fabric is called, but it's by Free Spirit. And it's just really beautiful and very similar, I feel like, to, right? I mean, doesn't that seem like very similar colorway? So this is probably way more than I need for this quilt, but I am going to start working on that later today because I like to have a little English paper piecing. And, this is a quilt that could take me years to do, and I'm fine with that. I mean, this is just a piece that I have a special little basket for English paper piecing, and it can just take me for, however long. I guess I'm going to do haul now because I have that sitting right here, and I have 2 different piles of it. I'm not sure why. This is stuff that hasn't been, I'm sure I've had more haul than this since I last saw you, but this, I'm just going to go through this because this is the stuff that hasn't been put away yet. Okay, I did Bunny Bakery by Priscilla and Chelsea, and I loved it. And she came out with Queen Bee Bakery Up on a Pedestal. So this is from the Up on the Pedestal series. And I don't know if this is the second in the series or the third in the series, but I'm sure you've seen this, but I think it's really, really cute. And it would go really well with my bee display, which is up right now, which is nice. And then I started doing, that's not even part of my finishes. I did a whole bunch of the stitch cards by Lori Holt and finished them into little tiny pillows and gave a bunch away and kept a bunch for myself. But anyway, I have a whole row of them in my bathroom. They look so cute in there. It's just the cutest thing. When I first saw these, just in the pattern, like the pictures, I wasn't interested. And then Lori Holt showed like bowls of them finished, and just a whole bunch of these in bowls. Cutest thing ever. And you can mix and match the borders. You can change out the borders, and so they're very versatile. And so I decided, I had to get some holiday ones. So I got Stitch Card F, which is the Halloween series. And like I remember when I saw this and I was thinking, boring to do. Oh, but they're so cute. In fact, you can't really see it, but there's a watering can one up there in that little box. Let's see, where is it? Right there. It's so cute. They're so cute just laying around. I mean, and they're quicker than the dickens. And her suggestion was do them in all different fabric counts. And so it's a great way to use up, your like little bits and pieces. Like I keep anything that's like that big of linen or Aida or even weave I have left over because, an ornament, right? And these are perfect for that. This is a Christmas one. That's Stitch Card G. This is E. I have to do this one. I want to do this one next. The puppy, the watermelon, the camper, flag. Awesome. Just simple and, just super cute. This one is really cute too for summer. Birthday cake, the little girl, house and the butterfly. Oh. And then I caved and I ordered the Prim Stitch series. And so I got like the first 9, I think, or 10. And then this is the last one, 12 of 12. And it's Hands and Hearts to God. So I have the other ones upstairs. I was going to do these separate individual ones and like put them on something with magnets and then switch them out on a monthly basis. I think that's still what I'm going to do. I don't know. I kind of had a heart to do it maybe all as one. I don't know. And then they actually, Fat Quarter Shop had the Stitch Card thread pack. So this is for set I. I see. I thought maybe it was for all of them, but this is for set I, which I may or may not even have. Yeah, I do. It's right here. So that's kind of cool because then you have all the threads, and I was just doing random whatever threads. I placed an order. I can't even remember who I placed this order with. And I forgot to look on the package, but somebody on Etsy that I happened to see, and what instigated this? I don't even know what instigated this order, but Tralala, however you say that up there, but the mouse and the witch. Oh yes. December 25th. Hello. That Santa was cute. He's cute, and those little sheep are really cute too. And then Christmas Tree Farm. I'm not sure why. I mean, this is really adorable, but I like it. I don't know. It's cool. I won't start that anytime soon. That's by Twin Peak Primitives. And then I was watching. I was going to remember who this was. Stitching along and watching somebody. Was it Whilst Iris Naps? I think it was Whilst Iris Naps. Why can't I think of what her name is? Anyway, she showed this book. I ordered a couple of her patterns too, but she showed this book, The Charms of Christmas. I had to back up and pause the video and take a picture so I could, and I went to Amazon and bought it. These Santas are so, it's not all Santas, but that Santa on the cover. I think this was one that she had done a long time ago. Or she had started and hadn't finished. So, Father Christmas. Can you see that? He's beautiful. Pretty much full coverage. I don't know. Part of it is just to have the book. excuse me, I have itchy nose. Okay, so that's kind of it for haul. And then I have, all my paper pieces just fell out of that package onto the other side of the bar. That'll be fun. So then I have a couple things to, no, I have several. I have many whips to show you. So I don't know, how long have we been going? 20, and we're probably at 30 minutes. So I won't go over an hour, I don't think. But I have been watching lots of different people ordering from Al Forest in Russia. And I remember the first time I ever heard of Al Forest, I thought, well, because I think Trisha at 3 Owl Threads sells Al Forest. And I thought, well, if I ever see anything by Owl Forest, I will order it from her, because ordering from Russia is probably crazy. Well, then someone talked about ordering from them and like directly from Russia, and that it came pretty quickly and it really wasn't super expensive, and that they had kits with their own hand-dyed thread. And so I went to their website and I started looking around, and I ended up ordering 2 kits just to kind of see. And I think I had them within a week or maybe 10 days at the most. I mean, they came very quickly. They let me know when it was shipped. They were on top of it. The kits come, at least the 2 that I got, come in this cute little box with the picture of the finished piece on the front. Now, the picture's pretty small, and as you can see, this is, and it's all, the front of the box, other than Al Forest embroidery, is all written in Russian. This is called Sea Garden, and you can see that it's, because you can see the, what is that called? I can't think of what that's called. The, anyway, not an octopus, but you can see that there. That's so weird. And then there's like fish, and there's like a little house, and and it's just like all different kinds of plants that grow underwater. The octopus is actually up here. So you get the box, and you open the box, and the thread comes like this with the symbol. This is the symbol. All of them are stamped with the owl, but with the symbol of that the thread is, this little tree is the symbol for this thread, and wrapped like this. And then I just bobbinated them like that so that you could still see the symbol. The fabric came with it. I think for the 2 kits, for the fabric and all the floss, and the floss is so spectacularly amazing. Look at it. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's very variegated. It's just beautiful. Hand-dyed. I mean, these colors. Look at these blues. Look at that. I think for 2, and they're both big, 2 kits with all the floss and all the fabric, needles. Oh, they sent needle minders. For this one, they sent 2 needle minders, and then 1 for the other one, and needles, and shipping. I think for 2, I paid a total of $117 US, which I thought was pretty amazing. This was the fabric that came, so it's the perfect fabric for that piece. Oh, I'm showing you upside down, and this is my start on Sea Garden. This fabric is an even weave of some type, but it's delightful to stitch with. It's very nice to stitch with. I think it's a 32 count. They tell you what, to stitch 1/1 or 2/2 or whatever. This is 2/2. But oh my gosh, it's so fun. I didn't bring it over here because I have it in a special spot, but the other one I got was the Wizard of Oz. And it is, yeah, it's spectacular. So that was a really fun buy. And they're fairly big charts, but they seem to go pretty quickly. I mean, this is only like maybe a day's worth of stitching, maybe 1 day and an hour of another day. So not really, anything too. And then, I have another finish here I forgot to show you. I got really into the Priscilla and Chelsea seed packs. And I especially liked tomatoes, strawberries, and sweet corn. And then they came out with sunflower seeds, which was really cute. I'm going to have to do that one. So I have tomatoes is finished. Strawberries are pretty close. I would say this is close to a finish, but it's really not because oh, don't look at my backs, or my backs are awful on this black fabric. Because all of this is full coverage, tomatoes and seeds, and it's all full coverage. So I still have to do all of that full coverage. But so cute. I mean, just so cute. And I would like to do it the way that Michelle McGraw, made by Michelle McGraw, does hers, where they're almost like a seed pack and you shake them and you can hear the, so I need to go back and watch her video of how she finished those, because it's really cute. And then she just puts them in dough bowls, and yeah, really cute. I showed you this before. I'm working on Flea Market Flowers by Lori Holt, and I have the quilt. I have not started the quilt because it calls for 3 or 4 different rulers, Lori Holt rulers, and die cut type mechanisms, and one of those was out of stock. So I'm not going to start that until I have all the supplies. But I started this. This is a stitch along with the Fat Quarter Shop, but they all started, the people that paid attention to the rules, or the stitch along, which I never do. I just jump right in and whatever. They all started up here, and I started in the middle and moved down. And so not a lot. These flowers take a little bit longer than you'd think. This is also, I think this is on a 20, might be a 25 count Lugana. And it's, I think might not be, it's a 25 count Lugana. It is. Barley. And so you've seen that. I mean, everybody's doing it. Lots of people are doing it. Sometimes that turns me off when lots of people are doing the same thing, but in the case of this, it doesn't. I think this is just a really fun stitch to be working on in the summertime. Am I still recording? I am. Okay. All right. And then, in no particular order, stuff I have worked on this week. And some of these I'm not going to have cover pictures for because I downloaded them to Notes Pro and I didn't print off cover pictures for you. But I decided to do, and it's here somewhere too, I decided to do I think it's called A Tempo Stitch Along with the fabulous Somi Sarah. So she's a new floss tuber, and she's new to me. And I think she has 3 videos and a tutorial out now. So 4 videos total out. But she's from Northern Ireland. She is absolutely a delight. I could listen to her for days on end, just her accent alone. I love Ireland. I love everything about Ireland. Our whole family have Irish names. It's kind of ridiculous. If I could live any place in the world, I would live in Ireland. I'd probably live right on the cliffs of Moher if I could. But anyway, she's amazing. And she is doing an A Tempo, I think it's called A Tempo, by the Italian designer, and I don't know quite how to say it, but I think it's Crocette a Gogo. And so it is a calendar, a monthly, 12 months worth of just little cute calendar, January with a snowman, and it says, I don't know if it says January. I think it does. I think they each have the month on them. But they're released in 4 parts, so January, February, March, April, and then May, June, July, August, and then I think the end of the year is not out yet, but will be released here soon. And so starting August 1st, she has a stitch along going for that. And so when I went to download the charts, to buy the charts and download them, I of course saw something else. And this is called, I don't know Italian, but Nativity, I'm guessing, and it's a nativity scene, and it's kind of 3 bands. I started in the middle, and it's kind of 3 bands of, the whole nativity. The thing I loved about it were there were chickens down here at the bottom, kind of the shepherds I think are down here at the bottom, and then there were some chickens, and the whole thing is done in mostly reds and whites with a little bit of green, and then just and there's some gray for the animals, but a lot of the animals are in it. It's a little on the cutesy side, but the colors are really, are just kind of striking. So this is Mary, baby Jesus goes down here, and this is Mary, and I have a really hard time not doing Mary in blue because growing up Catholic, Mary's always in blue. She's just always in blue. And I really thought about changing it. But, when you look at the whole thing, go to the website and look at, I think she's on Etsy. It's Crocette. It's Crocettee, and then the letter A, and then Gogo. And it's just really a stunning piece. So downloaded that, got that. That was one of those squirrel things that, when I went to buy one thing, I ended up, but that's all I bought. I bought those three charts. So, okay, I showed you that. And then what is this? See, none of this stuff is am I going to have pictures for? And I'm sorry. I won't do that next time. I'll print pictures next time. I could just show you on my iPad. I could just show you the cover picture on my iPad. I have it right here. Let me do that. I used to film on my iPad, and then I couldn't show you pictures because my Notes Pro is on my iPad. I love Notes Pro. I rarely ever do a, don't want to show you the chart. Okay, here is the picture. And it's not the greatest picture because, of course, it's a picture of a picture. But see those chickens down there at the bottom and that camel and the buildings? I love it. And it says Hallelujah at the top. I love that. I just thought it was so pretty. And see, mostly in red and white. And, yeah, I just loved it. So that's that one. This one is a mystery stitch along, which I rarely do, but I decided to do this. Oh, so I don't have a picture of this because this is a mystery stitch along. I decided to do this because it had to do with bees, and I thought I need a few more pieces in my bee display. And so this is a stitch along mystery sal by Primrose Cottage, and it's bee something, B as in BEE, and there's my little start to it. And it's just going to be a long, this is a piece of fabric that I got, a fat quarter piece from Misty Purcell, Luminous Designs. Anyway, her fabric is absolutely gorgeous. I've been trying to buy neutrals in her fabric, and I thought that's kind of a buttery yellow, but I thought that would be a really work really well for a bee sampler. Okay, I got out. This is one of those. I was watching somebody. I was probably watching Long Dog Stitcher, and it just got me in the mind to work on a long dog. And so I got out Words Alone, which I started quite a long time ago. And I'm doing it. Julie at Reflections helped me pick out 2 different colors. I'm doing this in silk, and I'm doing it in Carrie's Creations Stormy Sea and Carrie's Creations, what's the other color? Green. So it's these 2. That's kind of hard to see, but it's those 2 colors. And this is just going to be, this is a delight to work on too, but it's just going to be, and I'm sorry this isn't ironed, one of those long-term projects. So this is kind of a band sampler on this side, and then that side's a more traditional sampler. And so, look at that lobster. He cracks me up. Just a little lobster sitting there. And so, this is in the plain green, and this is in the Stormy Sea. That light's not very good. That's better. And I don't know if I have what fabric this is on. Do I have that in here? It doesn't look like it. So that's a lot of fun to work on. That Carrie's Creation silks are just so much fun to work for. Okay, Tempo, which is the calendar. If you haven't seen this, you can go to the website, and this isn't the greatest picture. Let me see if I can make it bigger. This is the first 4 months. So January, February, March, April. I love the frog for March. I thought February was really pretty too. And so I cheated, but Sorry, terribly itchy nose. But Sarah did say that there are no rules, and she's not going to beat anybody up, and there's no police. So I got a little bit of start the other night while watching The Bachelor. Maddie was home, so I watched it with her. And yeah, just a little bit of a start on that. And this is on some really beautiful, and I won't do all of them. I'll do all of them on 32 count, but I won't do all of them on the blue. But I thought, blue is a good January color. And then, speaking about Lori Holt and all of that, I started Prim Village using the Aurifloss, the Prim Aurifloss packet. So there's two different, inside of here there are two different boxes with, I think, 6 or 8 Auriflosses in each box. And this is enough to make this whole design. And I started this a long time ago. I don't know if I've ever shown it to you. And so I got back to the Village. I only had like the roof. I think all I had done was the roof and a little bit of this outline. And I didn't work on the outline at all. But there's the rest of it. So Pam, Stitching Between the Lines, is doing this in Christmas colors, kind of reds and greens, and it's really cool. And I would probably, if I hadn't have started it already, I probably would have switched and done that as well. But that's okay. It's going to be really pretty in that as well. Okay, I don't know. Let me find this one. I don't know I couldn't remember who I was watching. Now I can't find my iPad. Who I was watching the other day, and they talked about Blackbird freebies, and I was actually going to look for something else. I'm sorry, I'm looking down. I'm trying to find this. Oh, I can't show you this. It's a freebie, but it's only the chart. I love the Beatles. I have all of the Blackbird charts that are related to the Beatles albums. So Yellow Submarine, Eleanor Rigsby, The Long and Winding Road, and there's a fourth one. Why can't I think of it? Anyway, and I plan to do those as a set. My son also loves the Beatles, and I have this feeling that he's also going to want like a set for his own house someday. But anyway, someone was talking about a one color, doing a one color chart, with one color thread, how relaxing that is. And then in the same breath was talking about Blackbird freebies. And so I went to look at Blackbird freebies, and I had never noticed that they have a freebie called Blackbird, which is, a song by the Beatles. And I had just been listening to the Beatles, and that song was going through my head. And so I downloaded the chart and I started it. And all it is it says Blackbird up here in this really cool, funky, sorry for the threads, funky writing. And it says Singing in the Dead of Night, because that's the song. You don't want me to sing it for you, although I sing it all the time. And then there's a blackbird over here. And so it just says Singing in the Dead of Night, Broken Wings and Learn to Fly. And so Singing in the Dead of Night is just all in regular letters. And then Fly is down here at the corner in the same letter, the same font style as this. And it's just simple. And I think I'm doing it in Black Coffee by Classic Colorworks. So it's just simple and lovely and really pretty. And that'll be it. That should be a quick finish. Okay. So I have downloaded several of her smaller charts, but I love Whilst Iris Snaps. But I have a lot of samplers, and I have several started, not finished, and I have a ton of sampler charts that aren't even started. And so I really have not been in the buying sampler mood, but I was watching, and I can't think of what her first name is, and that bothers me. She's such a cutie. Anyway, I was watching her the other day, and she talked about a new sampler that she had out and that she had just finished and, put out. And she told I could cry just telling you about it. She told the most heart-rendering story about this little girl, Matilda Creasy, that stitched the sampler. I'm trying to find the picture of it. And so it's Matilda Isabella Creasy. Sorry, not Creasy. Creasy, 1843 to 1853. So she was 10. And she was able to get quite a bit of information on her, and she gives you all of that information in the chart. But it's just a beautiful chart, and the story was super, super compelling to me, and I'm not going to tell it because I'll cry. But anyway, it's a Whilst Iris Snaps Designs, Matilda Isabella Creasy, 1852, and that's what it looks like, and it's just really beautiful. Really beautiful. And so I downloaded it. I pulled all the colors. I pulled all the DMCs, and I got ever the tiniest start on it. Upper left-hand corner. And actually, I think it goes I don't know. It goes like that. No, it probably goes like that. So, yeah. Check her out. I also downloaded one of her smaller charts. Didn't start that one, but was very tempted. And then what's in here? Let me see. Something in here. Okay, this was my birthday start. So yesterday was my birthday. I told my husband not to get me anything for my birthday because I am really thinking about buying a home quilting machine. I have a lot of quilt tops that are finished that are not quilted. I have only once ever sent a quilt out to be quilted, and it was fine. It bothered me because it felt to me like I just didn't do it. Like it wasn't the same as if I had quilted it. I have a Bernina, Quilting Edition Bernina, which is an amazing machine and will quilt. And I've quilted a queen, as big as a queen size quilt on it, but it's not the easiest thing to do. So I want a home quilter. They're very, very expensive, as you know. I don't want to do quilting for other people. Like, I have enough of my own stuff to do. So I can't really justify it by saying, well, I'll quilt other people's quilts and make money to pay for it. I thought about that, and that's just not worth it. So I've been really going, kind of through my head that, do I want this or whatever? Anyway, I told Brian not to get me anything for my birthday. We're going to celebrate Caitlin's birthday. My oldest daughter's birthday is the day before mine, so hers is the 14th. So we're going to celebrate with her when we see her and her husband at the end of July. So I knew it was going to be kind of a not sad, and I didn't think Maddie was coming home. So I thought it was going to be a really kind of a sad birthday. And so I decided I would give myself a birthday start, which I could have done either way. I mean, anyway. Well, Brian didn't even stick to it, so he ended up getting me a lovely fountain, and I'll try to take some pictures and show you in the video if I can get this edited. But, so he's got me something for my birthday, so now I feel like I can't go get the quilting machine, and I'm not sure that I want it. I'm torn because I'm for one thing, one of the reasons I want it now is because Ryan's, going to be moving into his own home, and I can use his bedroom, but we also want his bedroom as a guest room. And I kind of feel like it's probably going to have to go in there. I don't think it'll fit in my office in my sewing room. So I'm sort of torn on that. And, I don't know. Brian's like, well, get it and put it down at the barn. But I just think when the weather's really bad, I don't go down to the barn. It's harder to get down there. And I don't know. So regardless, none of that matters. I'll probably edit all that out. I decided to give myself a birthday start. I saw this on their channel the other day. I thought it was cute as anything. It's And to All a Good Night by Priscilla and Chelsea. You've seen it. So cute. So stinking cute. And so I found a piece of 28 count linen that I had in my stash. And this is a long and narrow. And it's black, but so far so good. It's a little slow going because it's a little bit harder to see. I can see the black Ada. Just dropped threads. But isn't that, yeah, it's super cute. So this was my birthday start, and yeah, that's kind of what I'm up to. So now I have this whole huge giant mess. I have to make sure I didn't spill any floss on the floor because Bendy will eat it like nothing. She'll have it chewed up in nothing flat. I think that's it. I'm sure this is well over an hour. I don't even know if this will upload. I'll probably have to break it up into 18,000 different videos, but I'll probably go ahead and do that if that is what it takes. I hope you're all doing well. I hope to be back in a much quicker fashion. We are having my mother-in-law's funeral in Denver at the end of July. So I do have that coming up. We are moving Ryan back here at the beginning of July, moving him into his new house and, getting him all set up. And then there's several different things going on at the end of July, the beginning of August. I might get to do a little mini retreat if my mother-in-law's funeral doesn't kind of take up some of that stuff. Planning to go to the Reflections retreat in October. So yeah, all kinds of fun things coming up. But I would, hopefully I'll have time and I'll get some videos made. And I am really thinking hard about trying another tutorial on rug cooking because lots of people have asked for that. And so I might try to do that at some point in time. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I still haven't done much rug cooking at all. I haven't. I got 2 new hooks. I'm excited to try them out. But I've just been doing other things. So, anyway, I'm going to let you go. I hope you're all well. I hope you're, getting lots of stitching in. This heat wave, the heat here is absolutely oppressive. Today it's 100 and it feels like 110, which I don't know what really the difference is between 100 degrees and 110. I've been taking ice out to the chickens so that they can stay cool. Tomorrow's supposed to be 105 with a feel like of 115 or 120. So I hate the heat. I hate the heat. I would rather have negative temperatures. I would rather have 10 below than 100 degrees. I hate the heat. But it's summertime and we live in Nebraska, so whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It gives me lots of excuses to stay inside and stitch. And I do my gardening and my watering early in the morning, and any weed pulling, might just not happen until it cools off a little bit. So, take care, everybody. It was so good to talk to you today, and I hope to be back sooner rather than later. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys.